It's the end of the world as we know it, and this is Sovereign CEO to help you navigate the collapse of the Western world. Western world? Western world. That's what I meant to say, I'm pretty sure. Location independent income through your own location independent business that will set you free, and moving to a less bad country, or at least setting up an international backup plan and doing all these things for very little money. We have a very big topic to discuss today. One of the most important topics I have ever discussed at this channel, because it is a concern and a fear that a significant percentage of you in this audience have. This is one of the most common complaints or emails or comments or questions I get, and I'm going to address it in great detail. As usual, I will wait a few minutes before I get started with the actual topic. I was saying that am I sweaty? I look sweaty. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can't tell. Hey, if you're listening to the podcast, can you tell me if I'm sweaty? We're just outside. I was singing that song, End of the World, as you know, and I thought of Tommy Boy. Remember in Tommy Boy, where they're singing the songs in the car, they're singing along, End of the World as we know it, and I feel fine. And then the song starts going, and they go, because they don't know the words. That's me. Let me make sure that I have my stuff here together. I've got it. Very good. Someone is already saying this is what the fuck Lissigs need to hear. Yes, that is accurate. And there are a lot of you out there, and I'll go through it all. I have a whole lot of notes here to discuss. We'll discuss all this stuff. This is such a big fear that so many of you have. And I had a little bit of it too, but we'll go into all that detail. Let's see here. Hang on one moment. Make sure this is all good. This is all good. I'm actually going to close some screens here. I should have done that, but I just sat down. I'm going to take a drink of water. Hang on. While people are filing in, a few things. We have 3 or 4 new things in the works, and they're pretty exciting. I'll just give you a hint, and those who aren't on live, I'll give you a hint later in the live stream / podcast. We have finally, I have some Uruguay contacts, so we have something in the works for getting residency in Uruguay. We potentially have something in the works for you offshoring your business to Hong Kong. We have something in the works to potentially offshoring your business to the British Virgin Islands. Yes. So this will be an exciting, fun year. This, as I've talked about many times, this is going to be, my objective is to make this the best year of my entire life. Some of you saying Uruguay for the win. I agree. When you say, Caleb, when you say be hyper flexible, does that mean being a minimalist? Does that mean easier? So that means you don't necessarily have to be a minimalist, but you are okay being a minimalist. Hyper flexible means if you're sleeping on your couch and you're living in a tiny apartment, you're okay with that. By the way, that's exactly what I'm doing. I do not own a bed. I do own a bed. It's in storage. In my apartment, this is one room in my apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. I sleep on my couch. I do not have a bed. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Matter of fact, kind of happy with it. Now, the couch is very nice. It's a very nice couch. It's got this little mattressy thing on it, and you can kind of roll it into a couch and roll it into a bed. However, I have found that the couch is a little too short for me. And so I think I've lost some of my points on my Oura ring for my sleep. So I may have to bite the bullet. I keep hemming and hawing on this. I may have to go ahead and get a little bed instead of that couch. Get rid of the couch, put a bed in there so I have more room to move around. I think it's affecting my sleep a little bit. But God, it's comfortable. It's great. Lissig is an epidemic among smarter men. That's correct. How do you and Pink Firefly handle long distance? FaceTime. Zoom and lots of phone calls. We talk literally every day, 7 days a week. And we Zoom sometimes. And it sucks. Don't like it. But it is the sacrifice I'm willing to make. Again, I'm hyper flexible for my oddball 5 flags extremist lifestyle. Is it difficult to ship stuff to Paraguay? Not really. No. You don't like luxuries, penthouse, cars, etc. I don't dislike luxuries. I like luxuries in certain areas of my life. I do not own a car. I have 2 videos at my YouTube channels or describing why I don't own a car. I don't see the point. Penthouse would be nice. Sure, penthouse would be nice. I would do a penthouse. But see, I wouldn't do a penthouse with like 6 bedrooms. I would do a penthouse with like 3 bedrooms. Yeah. I like first class. I like nice shirts. I like real expensive, nice restaurants. So there's certain luxuries I like. And there's certain luxuries mostly I don't give a shit about. I don't care about cars. I would never get a private jet. I would get a boat. A nice boat. I wouldn't get a gigantic yacht, but I would get a nice boat. I'm super tempted. I've been tempted for years to do that. So it depends on the item. But I am hyper flexible. If you said, Caleb, you have to live in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment like this and sleep on your couch for a few months or a few years, I would say, okay, cool. I'm fine. If you go, I would never do that. I don't like to buy it. Well, then you're not hyper flexible. Hyper flexible. And what he's referring to, if you didn't know, is I have said before, and this is true, the only people who are going to survive and thrive in this collapsing era in which we live over the next, I don't know what the time frame is, 30 years. The only people who are going to survive and thrive and do well are one of 2 types. Type 1, people who are already wealthy. That means you have a net worth of over $10 million. If you're not in that category, you better hope you're in category number 2, which means you are hyper flexible. You're very flexible about where you live and how you live. If you're like, no, I have to live exactly like this, I don't like anything else, it'll be hard for you. Harder. All right. Felix, we do not discuss dating at this topic. This is Sovereign CEO. Do you have any succession plans? Yes, I do. Will your business continue to pass away if you get incapacitated? I do have some light succession plans. Yes, this is considering you have no co-shareholders. I do not. Alpha 2.0 business model means you own 100% of all businesses you consider a primary income source. Once you get up in the 7-figure, 8-figure income, you may have to modify that a little bit, but that's the model. So, Dieter, again, I'm not answering any woman questions. All right, so we get started with the topics. Let's see here. Yeah, let's get in with this. Hang on. This is a big topic, guys. Goddamn. You know what? I'll wait 1 more minute. 1 more minute before I get to this. I want a little more people live. Let's see here. I have a will and I have some plans for if I were to die. However, I believe in the 2% rule, which means the odds of me dying anytime soon are under the 2% rule, so I don't really freak out about this. I'll die someday, but I'm 51. The odds of me dying anytime soon are very low, and I'm very healthy. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm here. Oh, that's very nice of you. I am the smartest guy in the world. No one's smarter than me. I'm so smart, I never make mistakes. I know everything. Is this a topic for the listings tonight? Yeah, people are bringing up listings. Yes, it's a topic for many of you, including some of you who aren't listings. All right, yeah, let's get started with this. First of all, let me define listing in case you're not aware of that term. That's L-I-S-G. I did a whole video on this. We'll probably do a follow-up blog post on this. By the way, we're back on the schedule with the blog post, a little off schedule with that. That's going to be all cut up. The Sovereign CEO blog post goes up tomorrow, and the Alpha Male 2.0 goes up Thursday. So Tuesdays, you get Sovereign CEO. Thursdays, you get Alpha 2.0. It'll be the inverse of the days I do the live streams. So that means going forward, you'll get Sovereign CEO live stream Monday, Sovereign CEO article or newsletter article or blog article on Tuesday. Then if you're interested in my other topics, you get that on the article, the live stream on Wednesday and the article on Thursday. So 4 times a week. Not bad. All right. So Lissig is low income smart guy. This is the guy, and there are many of you in my audience. They are generally men. That's why it's guy. Although there are low-income smart gals. So you can be a female. But usually it's men. This is a disease usually suffered by men. We have found, like in the 9-day Business Builder program and our other coaching programs, whenever there's women in those programs, they tend to do much better than most of the guys. They're always in the top percentile of the group because women, when they make those decisions, women kick ass at this stuff. So usually it's low-income smart guy. These are guys who are very smart, high IQs, usually college educated, often overeducated, And what they love to do is read books and listen to podcasts and be on live streams like this and think about stuff and argue about stuff on the internet and talk about this stuff with their friends and think about stuff and think about stuff and think about stuff. They never fucking do anything, and they never make more than 20, 30, 40,000 a year, 50,000 a year on the outside. Some of them make up to 80,000, usually not. And even though they are very intelligent, they make shit for money because they don't actually do anything. Instead, they're all busy thinking about things and learning about things. They don't understand that reading books and listening to podcasts is not work. Caleb, is reading books about business SW or IW? It's neither, because it's not work, punk ass. It's you hiding from the world. You don't need to read any more books. You need to get out in the real world and take action. And that's how you make money. And that's why most business owners that are successful are people who are not very smart. People look at these outliers like Elon Musk and Bill Gates, who are really smart, wealthy business owners, and they think, well, smart people make more money. Smart people make more money on average. So the average idiot makes 30,000 a year. A low-income smart guy makes 40,000 a year. Yes, he makes more than the average idiot. Does he make a six-figure income? No, he doesn't. Does he make a seven? No, not even close. He's too busy thinking about shit. He's not doing anything. So a lot of you in that category. And I tend to attract these people. I tend to attract these people because I'm an INTJ. I have a higher IQ. Number one. Number two, there's also a lot more of these guys in the world than there were back in my day, back in the 80s, 70s, 90s. Men had, more testosterone. They were a little more go-getter. They were, taking action a little more. So that's also indicative of the era in which we live. So one concern that many of you have, those of you who are listings and some of you who are not listings, this is the most common concern that we receive here at Sovereign CEO. I have received numerous emails about this with this question. I'm going to read to you the latest email I've gotten about, not the latest, but one of them. I get the same question every time. This is not a question, it's a concern. And I have gotten this same email over 100 times. I've gotten this question in these comments on live streams. I've gotten the question on my social media. I get this question sometimes in our coaching programs. And there's always different variations of the question or concern, but it's always the same question. And if I were to summarize the question, it is this. It's a two-part. It's not even a question, it's a concern. But if there's a question here at the concern. It's a two-part concern. Part one is, I'm stupid and I don't know anything. I'm new and I've never done this business. So I'm stupid / this is a brand new business. I've never gotten any customers, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Therefore, the second part of the question, why would anyone hire me? Why would anyone be my customer or client if I'm stupid and I'm new and I don't know anything? How could I possibly service clients because I don't know anything? If I service a client, what if I fuck it up because I'm stupid and I don't know anything? So you can see this ties into a lot of areas. This ties into self-esteem of the typical person of the modern era, which is shit because we live in a collapsing era. This ties into, if you're a man, testosterone. This ties into being a Lissig, and Lissigs are terrified about making mistakes. One of the qualifying factors of a Lissig is that you were raised in a traditional environment with traditional schooling, where in traditional schools teach you making mistakes is bad. You get a D on your report card. All your friends make fun of you. Your teacher frowns at you. You show your parents and they yell at you. So you were trained via societal programming throughout your childhood. Making mistakes is bad. When in fact, it is the exact opposite in the real world, particularly the entrepreneurial world. The men and women who make the most money are those who make the most mistakes. And as I've said 10,000 times, those of you who have paid attention, have watched my content over the past many years, I've been posting content online since 2009. Not this a long time. I've been a public figure on the internet a very, very long time. You have seen me make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and I'm making shitloads of money and living a great life. That's how this works. Whereas most of you, or at least not most of you, a plurality of you, never make any mistakes because you don't try anything and your life sucks. Which would I rather have? An amazing dream life that I've got and make a shitload of mistakes and sometimes look stupid publicly? Or play it safe, not do anything. I don't want to make a mistake because I was raised that was bad. I don't want my mom mad at me. And then your life sucks. One of the core concepts of personal success that I was taught from many years ago from men like, most of these guys you wouldn't know, like Nito Quabain. Most of you don't know who that is. Going back to who's the guy that trained Tony Robbins? Why am I drawing blank on his name? Who's the guy with gray hair who trained Tony Robbins? Tell me in the chat. You guys know who this is. Just listening to one of his videos this morning. I mean, he's dead now, but on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, Jim Rohn. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's fantastic. You want to listen to some good success stuff? Jim Rohn stuff. It's like from the 70s, and it's amazing. It's so fucking good. No, not Brian Tracy, but good guess. Jim Rohn preceded all those guys. A core concept of success from all these guys is you have two choices in life. You have two pains, one of two pains. You're going to feel one of these two pains. You got to pick which one you want, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Now, most normal people, most average people, and most losers choose regret. They do nothing all their lives, and then they spend the rest of their lives going, well, I wish I could live like Andrew Tate or whatever, whoever they happen to worship, right? I wish I could make a lot of money like Alex Hormozy, and I wish I could drive a cool car, and I wish I could do 5 flags like Caleb. That'd be cool. I don't, because I don't do anything. So that's regret. Or what I have chosen is pain of discipline. Getting off your ass and working on things sometimes for hours at a time that you don't like to do, and you do it anyway. And no one's telling you what to do. It's not like a job. Owning a business is the opposite of a job. No one's telling you to do it. No one's threatening to fire you. You got to do it yourself. And so this is the concern that many of you have. How can I possibly start a business if I don't know what I'm doing? If I'm dumb and I don't know anything, okay. I'm 26 years old there and I know nothing. How is it even possible? You know nothing at 26, whatever old, yeah. And I'm new at this. Or here's another one. I don't know the niche. How can I help this niche? I don't know anything about the niche. I've never worked in this niche before. How can I possibly do anything in this niche if I don't know anything about the niche? So how can I possibly get people to pay me money to help them do whatever if I'm a dumbass and I don't know anything and I'm brand new and I've never done it? I don't know the niche. Now, I'm going to read to you one of the many emails I have received from you guys. This guy's taken this concern to like the nth degree, but this is not unusual. The feeling and emotion that I'm about to read to you is what many of you are feeling. I'm going to read this email, and when I read it, I rolled my eyes. But I'm going to read this email to you. It's a segment of it, and a lot of you are going to go, holy shit, that's exactly how I feel. And then I will address it, okay? And I have a feeling I may have to do multiple live streams, podcasts on this topic to help you get this through your fucking head. But here's the issue. Here's this guy said. I'm not going to mention his name. Whenever I quote emails, it's always anonymous. How in the hell do some people dare to offer expert services to business without experience, preparation, and skills? To me, that sounds very similar to jumping from a plane into an erupting volcano. Notice the emotion here, but this is emotion many of you are feeling. I mean, people put their issues in your hands thinking you're an expert, but in reality, you don't understand their problems. I can imagine only one type of people do that. They are those idiots who think they are so smart and skillful, and then parentheses says, I've met my fair share of those, that they don't care if they fail and screw their clients. All right. So let's go through this. Hang on. Excuse me. First, let me deal with the I don't know anything. I have addressed this excuse before. I will do it again briefly here because it is relevant to the topic. Caleb, I don't know anything. I'm dumb. I'm 26 years old. I'm 24 years old. I'm 33 years old, and my brain is literally empty. I was born as an infant, and they put me in this little room, in this little closet, and then 33 years later, I walked out. I don't know anything. My brain is literally empty of any data. I am not of use to anyone. I might as well just kill myself. They don't say that, but that's kind of what you're implying. Another variation of what people say is, I have no marketable skills. I mean, Caleb, I mean, well, you know how to do like public speaking, and back then you knew how to do computers, and I don't know. I have no marketable skills. I'm 31 years old and I literally have no marketable skills. I know nothing, Caleb. I'm a big moron. Okay. I have used what I have said many times is the clipboard example. AG, I already talked about what a listing is. You can rewind this video when you watch the recording. Here's the clipboard example. And I would bet you $10,000 that I am right about this. If you think you don't know anything, if you hired me as a coach, which you can't, actually you can, I have 2 openings left. Maybe I'll talk about that in a minute. You probably can't. I'm very expensive. Sorry, that's the way it goes. But if you hired me as a coach and I came over to your house, your apartment, and I sat down with you at the clipboard, and I sat across from you in a little room, and I grilled you for 2 hours, asking you question after question after question after question after question after question, okay, about your history, about what you have read, about your education, about the different niches you've been exposed to, about your work history, even if it's very little work history, about your childhood, about where you went to high school, about you know your years in your 20s, about the things you went through personally, about your history with you moved from this place to this place, about maybe different languages you speak, blah 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 blue. I would come up with a minimum of 2 marketable skills that would make you a 6-figure income as a self-employed coach / consultant / service provider / whatever / selling courses, whatever. An entrepreneur. Not 1, 2. 100% of you who say, I don't know anything, I'm stupid, I have no marketable skills, $10,000 bet that you are wrong, and I could come up with at least 2 that you have. There is a guy on Reddit who makes a 7-figure income teaching people how to do handstands. I don't remember his name. Go look him up. He's there. You think he has marketable skills? There is a guy, a friend of mine, Igor and I were talking about this guy. There's a guy who teaches, he makes a 6-figure income online teaching people how to do, not how to play the piano, how to do 1 song on the piano. So he only teaches people who already know how to do the piano. He teaches them how to do this 1 song. His entire business is teaching people how to do 1 song. He makes over $100,000 a year. Does he have any marketable skills? Nope. Why is he making all this money then? Because he does. Whatever you think isn't marketable skill is a marketable skill. What you might be thinking is, I don't have any marketable skills to an advanced business. I couldn't walk into a bank and say, hey, I know how to play video games. Just because you can't help a bank or an architectural firm in some area, some esoteric area in their niche, doesn't mean you don't have any marketable skills. You do, you fucking moron. And the challenge is, you're not a moron, you're a lissig. You're a low-income smart guy, and your self-esteem sucks because your mom and your dad or your ex-girlfriend or whoever told you were stupid, and you bought it. And I'm not a psychologist. If you had a fucked up childhood, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Some of my other stuff, Alpha 2.0 stuff, can help you a little bit over there, but even that has its limits. So you can't help you with that if you think you're an idiot because your self-esteem sucks ass. But that's your problem. Your problem is that you don't have marketable skills. The problem is you don't believe in you. Over in my other content, I talk about 2 factors that you need. Men and women need these 2. Confidence and outcome independence. You lack confidence. You have at least 2 marketable skills right this second, where if you took action on them instead of sitting around saying, I don't know anything, why would anyone hire me because I'm a dumbass? If you took action, you could make a 6-figure income, more than the $85,000 a year location dependent minimum we talk about here at Sovereign CEO and my other content. You could exceed that with the at least 2 marketable skills. Now, some of you have 3 or 4 or 5. Over time, you want to develop more. I have many marketable skills, but to be fair, I'm older than most of you. I've been at this a long time. I'm always adding more skills because I want to have what they call full stack. Different topic another time. You have at least 2 right this second. And if you say you don't, you are either lying because you're scared and you're a big pussy, or your self-esteem sucks. And deep down, but you're like, well, I don't know. Why would anyone hire me? All right. Let me think. What else before I go to the next piece? I was going to talk about this. I'm going to throw this in here now. We hear in Sovereign CEO talk about identifying a narrow niche and working within a narrow niche. And the next level is, okay, I might have some marketable skills, maybe, or maybe I don't anymore. I'm a dumbass. I've never worked in this niche. So I've identified this narrow niche that might work. I think would do well. It's a real niche. I don't know anything about the niche. Okay, let me explain something to you. You don't need to know anything about the niche in order to help the niche solve a particular problem. So the very, very, very first time I ever niched, my first business, I've talked about this way back in the mid 90s when I was a young dumbass, guy in his 20s, no college degree, no high school diploma, no contacts, no people skills. And I was making a six-figure income in 1990s dollars by the time I was 27. Way back then, when I started, my foot went full-time, I should say, with my first business. I was a computer on-site IT networking consultant. Okay. I did not niche. I took whoever needed help with their networks, I would help them. Okay. And I was able to make some money. When I started niching into lumber companies. The reason for that is that I grew up back then, I was in what was lovely Portland, Oregon. Today it's shithole Portland, Oregon, but back in the 90s, it was one of those beautiful cities of the world. And there are a lot of lumber companies in Oregon because of a lot of trees. And so I started to niche into lumber companies. This worked very well, and I made a lot of money servicing lumber companies as a tech consultant, right? Do you think I know anything about lumber? Do you think back then I was a lumber expert? I know all about lumber and woods and milling and different wood grain types. And what the fuck? I don't know. Later, I even dug deeper in the niche. I focused on hardwood companies, which is not lumber. Those are expensive hardwoods like, I don't even know. I don't remember now. Mahogany. I don't know. So do you think I knew anything about lumber? No, but I still focused the niche. Why? Because I had enough ability to help that niche solve one problem they had. And that was their computer system sucked. And I had enough computer skills to help them in that one little problem. In the 9-day business builder, we talk about identifying a niche and identifying the problem they already have. And then can you help them solve or alleviate that problem? The 2 or 3 marketable skills you have, all you need to do is assign those to a problem. In any niche, you don't have to know the niche. All you have to do is be able to help them or alleviate them and help solve a particular problem inside their companies. That's it. You don't know shit about the niche. I have worked in so many fucking niches I know nothing about. What are some of the weirdest niches I've been in? Here's a crazy one. Bakery wholesale distribution. That's a niche I've worked in as a consultant. Made a lot of money doing that. Do I know anything about bakeries? No. Do I know anything about wholesaling? I've had several wholesaling clients. Do I know anything about wholesale? Nothing. Nothing at all. But what I did know, my 1 or 2 marketable skills I had back then was enough to solve a little individual problem inside their company. In any given company, companies are going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 little problems. Some little, some big, all kinds of things. Could you help them solve or alleviate any of those problems even if you don't know anything about the niche? Real simple example. If you are a printer repairman and an architectural firm calls you up and says, hey, we have a broken printer. Can you come fix our printer? Can you imagine if you said, I don't know, I can't help you. I don't know anything about architecture. I don't know about architect companies. Of course I can't. I don't know anything about your niche. I can't help you with your printer. No, you're a printer tech, so you can fix their fucking printer. It doesn't matter what the niche is. You're just narrowing down the niche to make it easier for marketing and branding and things like that. Raise your prices, all those things. Do you understand? I want to get this to your fucking head. You don't need to know anything about the niche to help the niche. The vast majority of niches that I have helped, the vast majority of niches that Billy has helped, we know nothing about, know or knew nothing about the niches. Only a handful of niches have been, as a consultant at least, Have I been involved in where I knew about the niche? The vast majority, I had no fucking idea. No clue. One of my niches later after lumber was biotech. You think I know anything about biotech? See, you think you're a dumbass. I really am a dumbass. I didn't go. Most of you listings have all these college degrees. I ain't got one of them. I never graduated high school. I never went to college. I don't have shit. And yet I make multiples of what most of you listings make. And I've been doing that for 25 years, even though I was much younger than I am now. Because I took action. I didn't say, well, I'm a dumbass. I don't know anything. I didn't say that. I said, what are my 1 or 2 marketable skills? Then how can I take those skills and assign them to any niche that might have a problem in their company where I can help them on that one little problem? I said, oh, I can help them do this. And I went and did that. Now, am I saying I was not scared in all of my 20s? Let's address that really quick. Am I saying back in my 20s when I first did this, my first business, and my last job was at Nike corporate headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. I actually worked with Phil Knight. It's pretty cool for working for a company anyway. That was 1996, October 1996. I quit. That was my last job I ever had. Was I scared? Yes, I was scared. Was very happy not having a job. I've talked about in prior podcasts and videos where I'm like, I still remember that day. One of the best days of my life. My last day on a job was what I still remember it exactly, the exact building, the cubicle. I got up out of my cubicle, it was all clean, took my stuff, and I walked down the hall. I said, this is the last time I walk down this hall. And it was Nike. Nike is a very wealthy company. It was a very beautiful building. These are called golden handcuffs. Many of you have these jobs, these amazing companies, and they're wealthy, and your boss is really nice, and the building is beautiful, and they give you all these benefits to get you to forget that you're in prison. And that's what I had at Nike. I worked with wonderful people at Nike. My boss was great. She was fantastic. They were nice people. It was a fun company. I was a young single guy, lots of hot girls. It was in a beautiful campus. It was amazing. And I remember walking down the hall thinking, this is the last time I'm walking down this hall. This is the last time I'm in this jail. I press the elevator. It's the last time I press that elevator button. This is the last time. I go down the last time. And I walk out of the big foyer and I walk out. This is the last time I walk this foyer as a goddamn employee. This is the last time. And I walked out of the parking lot, went to my little car. I drove a Nissan 300ZX Turbo. What year was that car? 1980. Let's see. This was 1996, so it was I forget what it was, but it was awesome. It was a little black sports car. It was back when I used to like cars because I was young and stupid. Well, this is the last time I walked this parking lot as an employee, and that was the last day I was ever an employee, and that day was 1996, almost 30 years ago? That was almost 30 years ago. Okay. I hope you understand that. Okay? Okay. Next piece. The guy talked about in the question, why? Well, if I don't know what I'm doing and I get a client, I'll screw up their company. You are not going to take on any work that you have no idea how to do. I don't know why I have to say this, but I guess I have to. Many of you are under the mistaken impression that you're going to go get a bunch of work that you have no idea how to do. Now, there is a way to have a business where you don't know how to do the work. I'll cover that in a few minutes. It's awesome. But in terms of you don't know how to do the work and you're going to do the work, why would you do that? All the time, not all the time. On a semi-regular basis, I get offered people who want to hire me for coaching, consulting, or a service or whatever, and I have to turn the business down. You know why? I can't help with it. So you know what? I'd love to help you. That's not my area. I really couldn't help you. You really should go talk to this person. Or often I'll say, I can't help you with that. I can help you with this. Your main problem, I can't help you with this, but I can help you with this side. I can help you with that, but I can't help you with this. That's just not. And if you hired me, I would be a moron. I'd fuck it up. Same deal with you. You're not going to take on any work that you don't know how to do. You're only going to take on work where they have an identifiable problem that you've already identified that you can help them solve or alleviate, not the niche. Has nothing to do with the niche, just the problem in the niche. You're a printer repairman and they have a broken printer. If you were a printer repairman and they said, our mainframe servers are down, could you fix our server? You would say, no, I'm a printer tech, not a server tech. They go, oh, okay. You wouldn't say yes. And they go, fuck up the server. Why the fuck would you do that? I'm amazed I have to say this stuff. So you're not going to take on any work you have no fucking idea how to do, with one exception I'll get to in a minute. So don't worry about this. And if that does happen, if you start a new business, because that may happen, you may be talking to someone on the phone who might be interested in hiring you, and they want you to work on this particular problem, and it's a particular problem, not the niche, the problem. You have no fucking idea how to do that problem. You have no clue. You really have no idea. And you say, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. It happens to me too. Doesn't happen often, but it happens. It's okay. It's fine. In my other business, there's a thing called day game. And on a regular basis, I have guys say, Keel, can you teach me how to do day game? And I say, I don't teach day game. Sorry, you got to talk to someone else. I don't teach that. I teach this and this and this, but not that. So you're not going to take on clients who need you to solve problems you can't solve. You're already going to pre-identify the problem and how it matches with your one or two marketables, not one or two, 2 or 3 marketable skills. Right? So it's okay. It's all right. Take a deep breath and relax, Lissig. It's okay. Next, let's see here. I'm reading on my own notes. Here's what I've written in my notes. Once you have the skills, once you've identified the skills and you determine the type of problem, then you ask yourself this question. With my current skills, and in parentheses it says, not necessarily experience, not experience, skills. I'll talk about that in a second. Can I help them with this particular problem or area at least a little bit? So let me cover why we don't really include experience. You don't need to include experience. I don't say experience because if you are going to help them, I don't know, if you're going to help, I'm trying to think of a random example. I don't know. You're going to help, you're going to help an architectural firm. I keep going back to that. Get new clients. Okay. Because you've kind of done that a little bit before for something else. You would not look at your experience, because then you'll look at your experience and say, well, I've never helped an architectural firm get clients, so I better not take them on as a client. No. Do you have the skill set to help getting them 1 or 2 or 3 new clients? If the answer is yes, that's you pursue. I'm just using this as an example. Caleb, I don't know how to do marketing. Don't get hung up on these fucking examples. You get my point. Whatever the problem is. So with my current skill set, not necessarily experience, hang on. Can I help this niche with this particular isolated problem or area, not the entire niche, not how to run their business? You're not going to come in and run their company. You're not a CEO, okay? With this isolated problem, can I help them with this problem at least a little bit? If the answer is yes, you proceed. If the answer is no, then you don't. If the answer is no, then you say, could I help them with some other problem that they have reported they have? Could I help some other niche solve this problem that I know how to solve? You start doing more research, more brainstorming. Not very long. This is listing stuff again. And you're getting back in action. If the answer is maybe, then figure it out. Do some research and figure it out, or pick something else. That's the only question you ask. You do not ask, have I done this before? That's not what you ask. You do not ask, do I know about this niche? You don't ask that question. You do not ask, are there certain certifications I need to go get? No. You do not ask, do I need to go back to college for 4 more years? No, for Christ's sake, no. Can I help them with my current skill set, not experience? Help solve. And when I say the 90-day business builder, as I say, solve or alleviate. Can I help them solve or alleviate this isolated little problem? Now, let's get rid of business for a second. You don't have to start a B2B company. You can start a B2C business. Maybe it's people. Can I help this isolated niche of a certain type of person, certain type of individual, a narrow niche type individual, not, single mothers. That's not a niche. That's a demographic. A narrow niche with a problem they already have. Can I help them solve or alleviate this isolated little problem? I don't have to be them. One of the examples I use is helping Chinese men, a physical trainer, personal trainer. You worked with a long time ago. in Canada. He was a personal trainer with no niche, and he switched to a niche of helping Chinese men over 50 gain muscle mass. That was it. 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 If you know about how to gain muscle mass, do you need to know anything about Chinese men? No. If you know about how to help someone gain muscle mass, men in particular, do you need to know how to speak Chinese? If you live in the Western world, and that's your no. You get my point now? So this applies to companies and applies to individuals. Okay. I hope I'm turning on some neurons in your brain that have never been turned on before. It's not that complicated. Okay. Next piece to this is you can have a business. I know this blows a lot of people away, but I said this many times. It's no secret. I've never exactly done this myself, although have I? Let me think a minute through before I say that. I know Billy has done this. I don't think I've done this specifically. No, I haven't done this specifically, but I know work with a lot of people who've done this, who have make a lot of money doing this. You don't have to even know how to solve the problem to make a 6-figure, even 7-figure income. What? That's right. You don't. Here's what you do. You hire people on Upwork to solve the problem for you. So here's this works. I know many guys who've done this. Many guys going back decades to pre-internet guys used to do this, but online it's even easier now. Things like Upwork. Here's what you do. You start your business with a narrow niche. You're going to fix or help alleviate a specific problem in the niche. You don't know at all how to solve that problem. Maybe it's a technical problem or an IT problem or a crypto problem or a cybersecurity problem or whatever. There's all kinds of growth markets out there. Okay. What you do is this. You go market and you get the client. You sell the client. Client says, yes, I'll hire you. Awesome. My fee is $3,000. All right. Right. They pay you the $3,000. Before you get the client, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Before you get the client, what you do is you go on Upwork and you hire someone, a technician who knows how to solve that problem. You have no idea how to do this. You hire them. You know what? I have done this. I'll use an example in a second. I just realized I have done this. You hire a technician and you don't pay him yet. This costs zero money to do this. You don't pay the technician anything. You say, okay, hang on, wait. You're on hot standby. I'll get back to you in a few days. You go market, get a business, you get some clients, you get a client. The client pays you. The split second that client pays you and signs the dotted line, you hire your technician, you pay him, or escrow account, however you want to do it, him or her. He comes in, he solves the problem. You monitor to make sure he does a good job, make sure the client's happy, and then you're done. And you take the profit on the top. There you go. You don't even know how to solve the fucking problem. Here's my example. I've used this. I've talked about this before. Years ago, I used to do, I didn't do it. I hired people to do it. Database programming. Do I know how to write code? No, I've said 10,000 times writing code is one of the stupidest things in the world right now. People say you got to write code. No, it's a stupid idea, especially with AI coming. Don't be a moron. But I've never known how to write code. I would run into companies all the time who had problems with their databases, and they wanted modifications of their database systems. I don't know how to do that. Now, I was an IT guy with enough information to communicate, but I didn't know how to do it. I know some basic, COBOL and Fortran coding from the 80s. That's all. My shit's all out of date. So what I would do is I would go get my buddy Derek. This is years ago. He was a database programmer. I'd pay him $40 an hour. He worked full-time at a job. This was part-time for him. I would give him $40 an hour, and I would charge the customer $120 an hour for every hour Derek worked. I would go to the customer and say, what are the changes you want to make to your database? We want to change this, set up a report that runs this. Here's how it should look, blah, 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 blah. I say, great, thank you. I'd hand it to Derek. Derek, make it work. He'd go, okay, blah, 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 over a weekend. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, he'd work 6 hours. So he'd bill me 6 times 40, right? Go back to the client, say, is this what you like? Is this what you want? Yes. Can you change this? Sure, hang on. Go back to Derek. Change this. Okay, change it. Okay, go back to client. This is it. Oh my God, Caleb, thank you. This is exactly what we want. Great. I charge the client 6 times 120 plus my time. So, the client would pay me $3,000. I'd pay Derek $700. I didn't do any of the actual work solving the problem. I was just the middleman. And it's not the middleman. I was the facilitator of the deal. I put the buyer and seller together. It was a triple win. The client was happy and got their work done fast. I was happy. I made a shitload of money for a few hours work. Derek was happy because $40 an hour is a lot of money for him. He worked at a job. So he was tickled pink at $40 an hour. And by the way, I didn't hide this. I said, I'm charging 120 an hour. I wasn't like Steve Jobs and lied to him. I told him, I don't lie. Told him right up front. Okay? You don't even have to solve the fucking problem. You can hire someone to solve the problem. And you can get paid first before you pay that person. So it doesn't cost any money. Because then people say, well, I got to hire a bunch of people. How many employees do I have? 0. I get paid, then they get paid. That's the way it works. So you don't even have to solve the problem. Okay, you getting this? Now, I understand what I just said is a little more complicated and scary if you're brand new to business. So I'm not saying you should do that. If you have a little more confidence, you can go try that. Otherwise, go back to model 1, what I just talked about earlier. Your 2 or 3 marketable skills you already have right now to help a niche solve an isolated problem you know to solve. Solve or alleviate even a little bit. Okay? Now, I'm going to follow. Lastly, I'm going to talk about how to get your first 1 to 3 clients under this model. Right? All right. Caleb, why would someone hire me if I'm new? I get this question a lot. This is a subset of this concern. Here's how you do it. On your first 1 to 3 clients, you can negotiate your price, even down to 0 if you want. That's okay. So you'd say, well, normally, why should I hire you? You're brand new. You've never done this before. You're brand new. Well, normally I would charge $3,000, but you're right, I'm new. So how about I give you 50% off, $1,500, or $800, or for free, but I get a really good testimonial letter and testimonial video from the CEO of your company. What do you have to lose? If I help you improve your problem 5%, you're making a lot of money. And you can do that for your first 1 to 3 clients. It's okay. Once you hit 4 clients, no negotiating price ever again. This is the only first 3. Excuse me. Sorry about my voice today. I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Probably because I keep yelling. That's how you do it. You're honest. And I had people, when I first started my first business, I had people say, why should I hire you? You're new. I also had people say, here's another concern people have. I had people say way back in the 90s, yeah, we need help with our computer system, but why should we hire you? You're just a one-man guy. You're a kid. You're a little kid sitting in a little office all by yourself. Why don't we go to such and such firm? They've been in business 35 years and they got 60 employees and they have 27 techs. And why don't we go to them? Assuming the prices are comparable, right? I said, you know what you could do? You could go to them. That company is a fine company. I learned this from Brian Tracy, one of my mentors. Always speak glowingly of the competition. Now, if you're niche, you'll have competition. I wasn't niche, so I ran into these problems. Fine company. Here's the problem if you hire that company. What they're going to do, and this is the truth, what they're going to do is they're going to hire you, and you're going to be a new client. You're going to be this little number in this giant list of 20,000 clients they have. Whenever you have a problem with your computers, they're going to send out some young guy who's 22 years old, fresh out of college, who has no business experience. I have business experience. I have some. He has none. I was young, but I wasn't, I was, instead of 22 instead of 24. So I have 2 or more years of experience, whatever the fuck it was. He's going to come out here and they're going to charge him at a rate of like $150 an hour because they have to make a profit on his time. So you're going to pay $150 an hour, $100 an hour, $120 an hour on a newbie. Whereas you can hire me, you're going to pay me the same or even a little less. I have more experience than that guy, and I'm going to be your baby. Or I should say, you're going to be my baby. I'm going to kiss your ass. You're going to be a good client for me because you're not going to be this one of 10,000 people. I'm a boutique firm. You're going to be one of a few clients I have, and I'm going to devote 100% of my time and effort to making you very happy because I need you as a client. I was honest. And I'm going to be there day and night, 24/7, blah, 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 all that stuff. And you're going to get way better service out of me for the same or less money than you are at the big firm, which is the truth. That's why you should hire me. Some people said, oh, okay, and they hired me. Some people said, sorry, no, we're going to hire the big firm, and that's okay. See, that's another thing you could say. Because I'm new or because I'm a one-man show, I'm hungrier, and I'm going to give you way better service than some big company where you're literally a number. One of my biggest clients way back then who hired me was an electrical company, was an electrical chain of electrical service companies for commercial properties. And so the guy hired me, and he said the reason he hired me, after he hired me, he goes, you know why I hired you? I said, why? Because he had a whole bunch, I didn't know this. He interviewed like 5-6 different companies and hired me. And all the companies were bigger than me. He goes, here's why. My policy whenever I work with a vendor is that I want one phone number and one name. That's it. I don't want an 800 number. I don't want some number and get 3 different names. I don't want 3 different names. I don't want 4 different people, because all these other companies, they give you an 800 number, you get whoever you get, or you get 3 or 4 different names. No. He goes, no. I want one. My policy is one phone number, one name. That way, if anything goes wrong, I know who to yell at. So I have your name and I have your cell phone number. That's why I hired you. And I worked with him for years. Really good relationship. I made a lot of money for that client. A lot. So some people prefer the boutique thing. Make your negative a strength. So that's how you get your first 1 to 3 clients. You are honest. You make the fact that you're small or new a benefit, and you negotiate the price down to as low as you want. Now, one thing about that, if you negotiate your price down really low, you say, look, here's the deal though. You're going to give me a really good testimonial letter on your letterhead with the signature of your CEO or senior VP, or depends on the size of the company. And, or you're going to give me a quick phone video of someone in power and someone in charge in your business, talk about how great I am and how I helped. That's part of their payment, quote unquote. That's how you do it. And you only take on the business you know how to solve. And you're only going to work on that one little problem and not the whole company, so you don't need to know the niche. That's your answer. So I'm going to reread this email, going through what we've already talked about, and then I'll open it for questions. How in the hell do people dare to offer expert services to business without experience? You have experience. If you're 25 years old, 31, you have experience. That's bullshit. Without preparation, why would you not prepare? You are going to prepare. Of course, you're going to sit down and figure out what you're going to do. And skills. You have skills. This guy thinks he's stupid and has no skills, even though he's in his 20s or 30s. You already have skills. You have at least 2 marketable skills. To me, this sounds very familiar to jumping from a plane and interrupting a volcano. This is Lissig beta male pussy bullshit. This is emoting. That is not helpful for you. I mean, people put their issues in your hands thinking you are an expert. Now, let me say something. You don't have to be an expert to be of value. Let me say that again. You don't have to be an expert to be of value. All you need to know is how to solve one little problem. Solve or alleviate, improve one little problem. That's not an expert. I know men and women who are not experts who make tons of fucking money. And I know experts who make money. Don't need to be an expert. But in reality, you don't really understand their problems. You don't need to understand any of their problems except the one you were hired to help alleviate. That's it. Problems. He's saying, I don't understand the niche. Don't even understand the niche. Just the one problem. I can imagine one type of people who do that. They are those idiots who think they are so smart and skillful. I've met my fair share of those. Okay, so now he's emoting again. I know some assholes who are idiots and fuck them. What does that do with you? That's emoting. And they don't care if they fail and screw their clients. You're not going to take on work you don't know how to solve or alleviate. You're not going to do it. One last thing that I just thought of. Let's say worst case scenario, you make a mistake. You go into your client and you fuck something up. You make a mistake. What do? You apologize and you fix it. Shock. That's all that happens. You apologize and you fix it. The odds are very low, almost 2% rule in most cases. You're going to do anything of lasting damage. You're going to fuck it up and go, oops, I'm sorry. And you go fix it. Do you think after being a consultant for almost 30 years, I've never made a mistake at any client? You think I've never made a mistake? I just talk about how many mistakes I make. Now, I don't make a lot of mistakes with clients. I don't. But I've made them. You know what I did? I'm sorry, and I fixed it. Even if you have to spend 3 hours on your own time. That's happened to me, not for a long time. When I was younger, I fucked something up. I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry. And I go in and it took me like 3.5 hours late at night on a Saturday night. I had to fix it. And it was fixed. It was fine. They didn't care. Making mistakes is okay. Making mistakes and failing is part of being successful. Or you can be a Lissig and never make a mistake and be poor and miserable the rest of your life. Have fun. Which one would you rather pick? I know what I'd rather pick. That's it. That's it. I will open it up for questions. I'm going to zoom up my screen because I can't see shit. Where are we here? You guys have a lot of questions. Let's scroll up. Oh, really quick, 4 questions. I have 2 openings in my one-on-one coaching. My one-on-one coaching costs at least $5,000. If you can't afford that, just tune out for the next 20 seconds. If you're interested in doing this one-on-one, you and me one-on-one, you go to caleb.top/coaching. Caleb.top, www.caleb.com/coaching. And there's a link at the top of the page saying coaching. You click that link and it brings up the different packages. I have exactly 2 slots that just opened up, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I keep forgetting to bring this up. If you have any interest, I have 2 slots. 2, just 2. As soon as those 2 slots are up, they're up, and I won't be able to take any more clients. All right. www.caleb.top/coaching, and you click the top link that says coaching. You'll see it. Let's see. Where are we here? I was a hardcore living at home for exactly $0 a year for 5 years in college until I got my ADHD sorted out. Then Zoom passed multiple 6 figures in our 12 months in a niche B2B2B consulting. Cool. That's how it works, guys. Yeah. I think the realistic version of this isn't, I don't know anything, but I'm only a upper beginner or intermediate, not an expert. What did I just say about, I already addressed that. You don't need to be an expert. You can be a beginner. Can you help me alleviate an isolated problem? The answer is yes. You're done. You're in. Caleb, do you have any other books on making money apart from the Unchained Man, the big money on little work? It's big income and little work. No, but I have a 5 Flags book coming this year. I'm a little busy right now writing a book, as you know. There are so many blue-collar millionaires out there. Start a business, landscaping, cleaning, etc. Work your butt off. Provide the best customer service. Build slowly. Don't take loans, etc. Within a year, you really should make it 6 figures. I agree, but don't do anything location dependent. Landscaping, cleaning, don't do it. That's location dependent. Or become an expert in a niche. Learn how to sell B2B. You don't have to be an expert in the niche. Just a problem that niche already has. Caleb, would you be open to discussing the Pinnacle coaching package adjusted price-wise for 12 months as opposed to currently 6 months is something we could possibly discuss? Maybe schedule a call. No promises. A+ info right here, giving Kim. Cool. You are so on the money. Cool. Caleb, which particular key performance areas or skills did you consult in your latter management consulting years? Time management and strategic planning. What did you do to figure out your marketable skills? You sit down and make a list. You make a list. What am I good at? What am I good at? What am I interested in doing? What are my natural talents? Those 3. So let me say it again. What am I good at? What do I like doing? Even if it's something stupid like playing video games, okay? What are my natural talents? That's different than skills. You're naturally talented at certain things. I'm naturally talented at speaking extemporaneously. That's a natural part of my personality. Okay. And then I have, business skills that I learned. So there's skills and talents, different things. I can see the pain and frustration in Caleb's eyes, how his audience, as a part of his mission, don't save themselves. It is palpable right now, visible in his eyes. Well, I didn't mean to say that or show that, but yeah. Yes, my mission is to help you, and it drives me crazy when smart guys are too scared of pussy, and smart women, but again, women don't have this problem. Smart go-getter women just get it done. It's a guy thing. Why should the client hire you in the first place if they can go to Upwork and pay $40 an hour? They don't know how to do that, and they don't know they can do that. And they don't want to sort through all the pain and suffering of finding the right person. You solve that problem for them because you're going to vet these people on Upwork. You're not going to hire the first idiot who says, hire me. You're going to find a good person. You're taking that effort out of them. That's why. And they don't know they have the option. And they don't want to monitor that person. There's so many reasons why. You're giving value added when you do this. Got a girl question. Can't do those. Caleb, do you know anyone with an A2 business that makes most of its income from affiliate sales, primarily consumer electronics. Not that specific one, no. What about affiliate sales of online courses? Yes, I know several people like this. Yes. Sailor doesn't like gold and thinks it's a dumb rock. Do you still like gold long term? Yes. I did an entire YouTube video on this. Gold and crypto, not one or the other. I think that's literally the name. Go watch that video on my logic. You need both, not one or the other. Caleb, do you believe that ADHD shit, or is it just some overpaid psychologist trying to make easy money with some imaginary shit? No offense, Dieter. Interesting and fix that problem. Okay. My problem ADHD, I've said this before, is it is real. It is also overdiagnosed. It's my same thing about clinical depression. Clinical depression is a real thing. It's way overdiagnosed. A lot of people they say have ADHD don't have it, but it is a real thing. A lot of people who are clinically depressed, they say are not clinically depressed, but clinical depression is a real thing. I'm not one of these guys who says depression isn't real and ADHD isn't real. It is real, but it's overdiagnosed because that's the area in which we live. Hermosi preaches not marketing a product or service unless it's perfected to the best of your ability. This conflicts with your market first, deliver later view. Thoughts? Well, first of all, I don't know if I've never heard him say that. So how are you going to perfect a thing to the best of its ability if you never have people using it? So I don't think you're right. I don't think that's what he said. I think you're misconstruing what he said. In order to make something the absolute best you can, you need to have customers go through it. And then you iterate on it. You're not going to come up with the perfect solution in your brain. You're not that smart. Now, you obviously prepare as best you can before you implement. Yes, you do that too. Yes. And you iterate as you get better when you work with clients and customers. You do both. Can't find your YouTube video where I'm about to talk about TRT and HCG. Oh, I've done several of them. Just search on TRT on that other channel, not this channel. Caleb may be off topic, but how much? I'll answer any questions for sovereign CEO topics. 5 flags, international, business, marketing, niching, all that stuff. How much of your travel is due to running your business versus having space in your relationship to keep healthy? Oh, sorry. I can't answer that question. Someone's answering the other guy because 95% of freelancers at Upwork suck. I wouldn't say 95%. Well, it might be 95%. I don't think so, though. But yes, you offer a value add if you are the middleman. Yes. You're going to make sure that client gets really good customer service. Here's a little secret. Some of you know this, some of you don't. Technicians, people who are technician guys, horrible customer service. Technicians, computer nerds, their customer service is fucking awful. So you are the businessman. You're the CEO who likes your customers and wants to make sure your customers get a good result. So you bring in the technicians who are terrible with no people skills and hate customers, and you corral them and you get a result out of them so the customer is happy. I've done a lot of that throughout my life, especially when I was more tech-based. Oh, yeah. Done a lot of that. You're the person who gives a shit about the client. Technician doesn't care. He's just there to do a job and get out of there. That's it. How can we convince people in the niche to spend time, answer surveys, or give interview for market research? A few things. You can pay them. You can offer to pay them $50 for 20 minutes of their time or 10 minutes of their time. You can pay them or give them a gift card. You can offer that. Another thing you can do is you're going to tell them, look, if you can answer these 5 questions, I'm talking to 100 people in your niche or whatever the number is, and I will send you the results of the questions so you can know what's going on in your industry. Do that. You mentioned previously that Dubai Corp can't be a holding company. Yet you say Dubai is good for capital gains. Assume the individual doesn't live in Dubai, yet hold residency. So I don't know the answer to that question. No, I know partially the answer. You can't have the word holding company in the name of the corporation, but it can be a holding company that has assets. So you can have a Dubai company that has cryptocurrency as an asset. You can't. You can't say Joe Blow Holdings or say, sorry, the word holdings is not allowed in the business name. That's what I said. You can have a Dubai holding company. I'm not sure how that works. That's beyond my scope of knowledge. You can do it. You just can't have the word holding or holdings in the business name. That's what you can't do. Well, let's see here. Hang on, another drink. I want to make sure I got through all my notes. Hang on. Seems like I'm missing something. No, I think I covered everything. All right. I have this thing in my back of my head that I'm missing something. I'm going to end this live stream podcast, and then half an hour later, I'll say, oh shit, I forgot to say this. It's not my notes. Huh. I don't know. All right. Where were we in questions? Caleb, can you do an episode on dealing with outspoken, difficult people or know-it-alls in business? Situations where ignore it isn't enough. I struggle with deciding to be OI. Well, here's the beauty of owning your own business versus being an employee. You choose the people you work with. If someone is difficult to work with, guess what? You don't work with them anymore. But Caleb, what if they're a client? You fire the client. I've fired clients before. I've done it. Doesn't happen often, but I've fucking done it. If the person, look, the person is either in business, the person's one of three things. It's someone who works for you, under you in some way, right? We don't teach employees here, but vendor, subcontractor, what have you. So someone who works under you. 2, it's a vendor. 3, it's a customer. That's it. It can only be one of these three things. You can fire all three of those people. But Caleb, if I fire this, yes, I know it's hard to fire people. I didn't say it's easy. But if someone is a recurring problem, so here's what you do. First, you have a discussion. Hey, Bob, the last few times, and you have a discussion. Okay, this is a problem. I need you to kind of tighten this shit up, all right? I don't want to keep talking about this. So you give them a warning. I wouldn't fire someone without warning. Just give them some warnings. 1 or 2 warnings, then you're fired. And if it causes chaos, you deal with the chaos. Yes, you deal with it. It might take a few weeks of chaos, and then you solve it and you move forward. That's how it works. Don't ignore it. You want to ignore, well, it depends. If it's a little tiny person, you're working with a company, you're like a consultant. Let's say you're a consultant. You're working with a firm, and you're working with 4 different people, and one of the 4 people is an asshole. Who cares? Then you just ignore it. If you can't ignore it, you fire them. Can a Dubai corp make loans outside of Dubai? I don't know the answer to that level of detail. I would assume yes. Assume Free Resort Corp. I would assume the answer is yes, but I don't know. It's a very detailed question. I don't know. You can only solve a small problem for the client. Is it worth the overhead of dealing with another vendor? Here's the deal. You look for the biggest problem the niche is having. So you do the research on the niche. You say, what is your biggest problem? What is your second biggest problem? And you focus on those. And if you have no idea how to fix the first or second problem, you pick a different niche or you hire someone on Upwork. You want to work on little problems. What I said is a big problem that you can help alleviate at least a little. That's of value. Just think about this. You in your life have a big problem, right? Well, every one of us has a big problem or two in our lives. It could be a financial problem, could be a personal problem, whatever, 5 flat, whatever, right? You've got a problem. Let's say you could hire me, or no, say me. You could hire some random dude who would help alleviate that problem 10%. And let's assume that it was for a fee you could easily afford. Would you hire that person? Yes. Why wouldn't you? They're not going to solve it. They're going to make it 10% better. And it's a fee you could easily afford. You'd do it. I would do it. Your biggest problem in your life? Yeah. There you go. Caleb, what do you think of Malta as a flag? I don't like any European countries, but it's okay. There are much better places than Malta, though. Is it more important to work on removing imposter syndrome through questioning SP, or do you advocate affirmations and focusing on replacement beliefs? I'm focusing more on questioning beliefs right now. Both. You do both. You do both. You're not going to solve imposter syndrome through affirmations. You're going to solve it through taking action. Affirmations help. Affirmations is another Lissig behavior. If you're super big into affirmations and you've been doing all these affirmations for a year and you're not making any money, Lissig. That's another way of hiding from the world. Caleb, you do affirmations. Yes, I do affirmations. I also work 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, unlike Lissix. Affirmations plus action, not just affirmations, and then reading more books. Not gonna help. Were people making money from affiliate sales of courses doing strictly make money courses? I feel like I must do that. No, but a lot of them were. Some are doing real estate courses, investment courses, things like that. As an options trader, can you reduce capital gains tax by moving the UAE? Yes. Or does it require more steps? It requires a few more steps. You got to put your money into UAE. The answer is yes. Why do you think all the crypto people come to Dubai? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is a guy. I won't say his name. Should I say his name? I'm not going to say his name. There's a guy on YouTube. He's not huge in YouTube, but he has more followers than I've got. He just sold his business for $16 million. And he sells an options trading course. And here's what happened. He's talked about this on his channel. He was based out of the UK, right? Nice guy. Based out of the UK. He made a few, he made like 100,000. And one year he made like, $700,000. He's like, whoa. And he was amazed. It changed his life. And he helped his mom and he helped his dad. He's a good guy. And this is great. And then the fucking UK government sent him this giant tax bill and said, you owe us $350,000 in taxes. Pay right now. He's like, what? Because it was all new to him. He's freaks. So he doesn't have 300,000. So he freaks out. He's going all over the place trying to find the money. He scrambles for weeks. He finally gets the money to pay the bill. Then he goes on his little like group of friends who are like me and, business owners. He's like, have you guys run into this? I mean, I'm in the UK and they wanted 350. I mean, I got to do this the rest of my life and pay 350,000. And another guy from the UK is like, you just moved to Dubai. You pay $0. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, I just moved to Dubai. That's what I did. It was great. 3 months later, he moved to Dubai. He's right by the marina. He's down there right now. He's been here ever since. So funny. Great. Have any of your students contacts arbitraged Paraguay labor experience hiring in Paraguay? I think so, but I wouldn't know. I don't follow up with them in that level of detail. Once they got their residency, I'm off their radar. I appreciate the IS lesson. What's IS mean? I just don't have IS questions that come to mind. I don't know what IS means. I didn't go to college. Remember, I'm done. Aside from the problem we solve for the clients, what if our concern is the marketing, especially if we don't want a personal brand to be in videos, etc.? Are there ways to market without that? Yes, I made a 6-figure income on the internet without showing my face or my name when I was selling dating advice. I called myself Black Dragon. Did that for many, 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 many years. Did very, very well. It is better if you show your face and name. It is easier to make more money, but you don't have to. There are lots of guys in the crypto space, NFT space, who are fucking killing it, and you don't know who they are. So you can do that. You can be anonymous if you want. I've talked about this. It's better if you're not. I made a lot more money when I came out and said, hey, everybody, here I am. I'm Caleb Jones. Because then it builds credibility and trust and authenticity. It's easier to give people money if you see them in real life, especially if they're on a live stream like this. You're seeing me right now. This is me. My real name is Caleb Jones. I live in Dubai. I'm real. So it's easier. But you don't have to. No, I made plenty of money before that. Our big problems usually very hard to solve. You don't have to solve them, just alleviate them. You increase them by, you improve them by 25%. That could be millions of dollars for a company. What does LISSIG mean? I'll say it again. I guess people are joining late. LISSIG is LISG. It stands for low income smart guy. It is a guy who is very smart, high IQ, usually college degrees. And what these guys do is they spend all their time reading books and listening to podcasts and thinking about stuff and making comments on the internet and never actually fucking doing anything. So they never make more than 30, 40, 50, 60,000 a year for the rest of their lives. Even though they could be making millions of dollars, they don't. They instead think about things and read more books. They don't take action in the real world. That's a LISSIG. Are affirmations and identity improvement topics Sovereign CEO or Alpha Male 2.0? Identity improvement topics. They can be Sovereign CEO. Sure. For me, the challenge is less IS and more making decisions without freaking out. Oh, imposter syndrome. Got it. I made that up. Okay, well, don't do that. You're wasting my time to do that shit. Someone's saying the word Henry. I don't know what you mean, Bruno. Huh? I don't know. Yeah, don't make random acronyms and not tell me what they are. I'm going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. You say, what I meant to say, Caleb, was that's called wasting Caleb's time. You don't want to waste my time. That's not wise. That's the one resource I can't make more of. When you ask me questions, be very clear. It's helpful. All right. Let me check one more thing. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I'll answer like 2 or 3 more questions, and then I got to go. Oh, Henry is another one. Here's another one. Henry means high income, not rich yet. Okay. From Kevin Samuels. Yeah, that's from, there is a term. It's from the Millionaire Next Door book back in the 90s. There are 2 types of high income people. There are under accumulators. So UAW and over accumulators. So an under accumulator would be like a doctor who makes like 800,000 a year, lives in a fancy house, drives an amazing car. His wife drives it. His kids go to private schools and he has no money because it all goes with his lifestyle. Yeah, that's a problem. I know guys like that. There are a lot of guys like that here in Dubai. What's hilarious in Dubai, it blew my wife away. We still talk about this. In Dubai, you'll drive through a neighborhood of normal little houses. They're not shitty houses, but they're not nice and they're not big. And in all the driveways are like fucking Bugattis and Rolls Royces and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and cars that are way more expensive than the house. So it's like Pink Firefly is like, are their cars more expensive than their homes? I'm like, yeah, I guess. When do you know if incorporating is worth it over sole proprietor? If you make more than about $2,000 a month, in my opinion, Billy would say incorporate immediately. You were referring to investor Henry YouTuber. Got it. Oh, you guys just making jokes now? All right. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you if you're interested in my other topic on Wednesday's live stream. I've already mentioned I have all the live streams now planned out a month in advance. I'm catching way up on my content finally. Wait, did you just say $2,000? About what? So I have, lastly, to repeat, I have 2 more on one-on-one coaching slots. If you can afford it, I'm not cheap. www.caleb.top/coaching and click the top link. And there's all the options there. 200,000. I don't know what you're talking about, D. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have something else to talk about, but I'll talk about the next live stream. To repeat what I said at the beginning of this, some of you weren't online. A few things coming shortly. We have a get residency in Uruguay we're working on now. We have an offshore your business to Hong Kong, potentially working on that now. We have an offshore your business to the British Virgin Islands, potentially working on that right now. These 3 things. Pretty cool. Oh, $2,000 a month. All right. Cool, guys. Thank you. I'll see some of you on Wednesday.